Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Andrea Kaminsky, and I'd like to introduce Carmella Glenn, who is running for Alder in District 18. So as we begin, Carmella Glenn, please give an opening statement about the educational, vocational, and civic experience that you have that prepares you for this office and why you are running for Alder.
Thank you so much for having me. As she said, my name is Carmella Glenn, and I am from Madison area. I was raised here most of my life. I was born in Stoughton, which I like people to know. But my career has been over 25 years doing social justice work in the community. I have worked with Department of Corrections. I have worked with nonprofits. I have worked with domestic abuse intervention services. I have worked around workforce development. And most recently, my job title is I am the Violence Intervention Supervisor with Public Health Madison-Dane County. And it's part of who I am. I'm a mother of four boys, four young Black men, and I have always carried them in having a safe place to be, a safe place to grow up, and really want this community. I believe I am the best candidate in running for this because of my passion and willingness to say the hard things even when no one's looking, and my relationships I have built for the last 25 years with everything from correctional to policing to alders to mayors to legislators. And I have a network of people that believe in me and that I have relationships with to be able to get things done.
All right, well, thank you. How would you evaluate the city's current efforts to address homelessness and increase the amount of affordable housing? Are there additional steps the city should take to address these issues?
So, because of my day work, I work a lot around housing, and I just have worked around housing in all of my work because housing is connected to violence prevention, and so much of my work has been around violence prevention and intervention. I have always seen housing as a means to that. And we need to build. People want to live here because of how we take care of it. We have to build correctly, and we have to build equitably, and we have to build in a way that protects everybody. So when we build, we have to make sure that we're building with green space and speed bumps and lighting, and the school can also handle the population, and that we have paths for people to walk outside. It has to be all of the above. But we need lots of it. We are hitting a spot where we are having a larger population of people that do not have housing, and we need to make sure whether you're buying or renting, whether you're extremely wealthy or you're not, that you have a safe, cohesive place to live. And so building well and not just checking boxes is really important.
What actions or programs would you support to enhance public safety in Madison? And in particular, what's your position on the use of body cameras by Madison police officers, given the recent demonstration project?
So, kind of two questions. I'll answer them together and separate. Um, as far as public safety, and what we need, that's what most of my work has been, whether it has been in working with people who are coming home from incarceration, whether it has been with people who have been victims of violence, and more currently in my role around gun violence, domestic violence, or when people are struggling with their mental health. All of those things are about public safety. Housing is about public safety, and I will support all initiatives that have to do with public safety and violence prevention. It's who I am, it's what I do. As far as you had brought up, it was the cameras, right? We just got done with a referendum that had a large ticket item on it. This seems like another large ticket item. I work every day with police in my career now and am always worrying about and talking to them about public safety. I just don't know if now is the time. Is now the time, I should say.
Okay. In the wake of the recent referendum to increase property taxes, what are your priorities for the city budget?
So as the newbie, I'll be on the block of getting into it. I don't um, pretend to know all of the things. I don't believe that I know we just finished with the referendum. What I would say to it is I will work alongside my fellow council people and work alongside systems that are a part of our city and look at is everything at its peak performance? Is all services needed? But we're talking about a lot of those around city that are about garbage and streets. And so I'm always willing to take a look at it. I ran a nonprofit. You have a tight budget for a long time, and I'm about budgeting and making sure we don't lay things on our constituents.
All right. How should Madison balance the need for development with other concerns such as traffic, historic preservation, and conservation of natural areas?
I sort of answered this, and they have to go hand in hand. We have to build. We know we need more housing. It's everyone's concern when I'm knocking on doors every day of people worrying about the cost of their home and staying in it, the price of staying in their home, the price of rent. And so we know we have to build to leverage out um, having occupancy rates and being able to put people in housing. We have to have green space. And I'll work really close with the Madison Trust for historical preservation and make sure that all things are done right. I don't, as I said before, believe in doing things with check the box. In my work, prevention and intervention is the most important. And that means that when you build, you have to make sure there's green space, there's bike space, there's environmentally sound, and that everybody is safe and that our environment is safe, or we're just checking a box.
Okay. What are the most critical issues that you see facing the people in your district, and what would you propose to address these?
It's always housing. It's housing from, as I said, it's housing of staying in my homes. I met people at their doors that their homes have been passed down for generations. It was their grandparents and then their parents and then theirs. It's people who are struggling to pay rent because it is unaffordable for them. We have um, workforce housing being built, and you have people that can't afford 40% of their income that's based on a federal guideline that their guideline is half as much income. And so we have to make sure that it is affordable for people. We have to make sure that that affordability comes in the form of owning and renting, and whether that means building tiny homes or more multiplexes or um, apartments. It just has to be done and it has to be done well. And we have to make sure that there's strong management and people that stay around and owners that love our community as much as we do and will stay around and make sure it's well taken care of.
Okay. So finally, what would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
That I love the North Side. I love this city and I love doing work for the people. I love showing up at tables, sometimes as the only person that looks like me and has a story like me, who has lived experience in um, being unhoused herself. I am now a homeowner on the north side. I am someone who is from the LGBTQ plus community. I'm a Black woman. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. And I want to show up as a statesman for my community and be what they need me to be. I want to educate people on civics and showing up and that their voice matters. I've watched it happen. When you want something and you show up and you make your voice and you gather and you meet and you educate yourselves and then you show up, stuff gets done. And I want more people that look like me showing up. I want to be able to make sure that there is equity in the way things are done and that there is safety and preservation in our north side. We say it's almost like living in the country over here because of all the wildlife that comes walking up your street. And I want to keep what's great about it, what's historic about it, and leave it alone. And the things that people are worried about, I want to listen to, gather, educate, and have them show up. I am a statesman. I am a steward, and I know how to get things done and work alongside people to get those things done because I'm just one person, and it will take all of us.
All right. Well, I want to thank Carmella Glenn for speaking with us and thank the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that the general election is Tuesday, April 1st. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.